What I'm about to show you may change the way you take your blood pressure medicine, because the most dangerous time to swallow that pill is not the time you think. And when I reveal the number one timing mistake, the one that sends some seniors to the floor or the emergency room, you're going to understand why a medication to protect your heart can become dangerous when it collides with the wrong hour of the day. I'm Dr. William Elliott, and I need you to hear this. Before we go further, please subscribe, share this video, and stay with me, because what you learn could save you. Most people think blood pressure medicine is simple. Take the pill, lower the number, move on. But after 23 years in cardiology, I can tell you that timing changes everything more often than people think. The wrong medication at the wrong hour can trigger dizziness, confusion, nighttime falls, missed doses, and blood pressure swings that frighten families and confuse doctors. And here is what scares me most. Right now, somewhere, a senior is taking a water pill at night because nobody explained what that harmless little tablet would do after midnight. They will wake up once, then twice, then 4 times, shuffling through a dark hallway, half asleep, pressure dropping, balance unsteady. Somewhere else, another person is forcing blood pressure pills into a bedtime routine because they heard nighttime is always better, while their body is telling them, in every possible way, that something about that timing is wrong. This is not about fear. It's about precision. Because the truth is, there is no single magical clock time that is perfect for every blood pressure medicine and every person. Some medicines are best in the morning. Some can be taken morning or evening. Some first doses are intentionally taken at bedtime because they may cause dizziness at first. Some patients with side effects do better by shifting timing. And some people become convinced that bedtime is automatically healthier when the evidence is much more nuanced than that. That misunderstanding is where danger begins. By the end of this video, you're going to know the 5 timing traps that matter most. More importantly, you'll know how to recognize the one dangerous pattern that causes the biggest problems in real life. Taking blood pressure medicine at a time that clashes with your body, your sleep, your bathroom trips, your balance, and your daily routine. And yes, I'm saving the most dangerous one for last, because it's also the one most seniors never question. Stay with me, because this decision can change how safe your treatment is. Let me start with Eleanor, because her story reveals timing trap number 5, and it seems so innocent that almost anyone could make it. Eleanor was 72, sharp, organized, committed to doing things right. Her doctor started a diuretic to bring down her blood pressure and help a little ankle swelling. Eleanor already took most of her medicines before bed, so she added the new pill to the same evening routine. Simple, efficient, easy to remember. She felt proud being consistent. For 2 nights, nothing happened. Then the 3rd night changed everything. At 12:40 a.m., she woke up needing the bathroom. Then again at 2:10, then 3:30, then just after 5. By morning, she was exhausted. Her mouth was dry. Her legs felt weak. When she stood up from bed after that 4th trip, the room tilted for a second. She grabbed the dresser, caught herself, and told herself it was nothing. But it wasn't nothing. Her medicine was doing exactly what it was designed to do, remove fluid through urination, except it was doing it at the most risky hours of the night. Timing trap number 5 is taking a diuretic too late in the day, especially near bedtime. Water pills can be wonderful medications. They lower pressure, reduce fluid, and are often first treatments doctors use. But if you take a medicine that makes you urinate right before sleep, you create a chain reaction. More bathroom trips, more broken sleep, more standing up in the dark, more dehydration by morning, more chances to feel lightheaded. For older adults, every extra nighttime trip down a hallway is another chance to fall. This isn't just inconvenient, it is physiologically disruptive. Sleep loss raises stress hormones. Repeated urination can leave you dry by morning. Standing up half asleep can expose hidden balance problems. If you already have neuropathy, arthritis, poor vision, or weak legs, the risk multiplies fast. That is why diuretics are usually taken in the morning, or if prescribed twice daily, earlier in the day with enough space before bedtime. Eleanor did not need a new drug. She needed a new clock. Once she moved that pill to the morning, the nightly chaos stopped almost immediately, and her blood pressure remained controlled. But here is what Eleanor's story teaches us, and this is crucial for everything coming next. A pill can be medically correct and still be practically dangerous if the timing does not fit your body's reality. Many people assume danger comes only from the wrong medication or dose. Sometimes it comes from the wrong hour. And timing trap number 4 is even more common because people make it on purpose. They do it thinking they're being flexible. In truth, they are turning blood pressure treatment into a daily experiment, and their body pays the price. Let me tell you about Leonard. Leonard was 76, and he treated his blood pressure medicine like an umbrella. If it looked stormy, he grabbed it. If the sky looked clear, he left it by the door. Some mornings he took his pill at 6, other days at noon. Sometimes he forgot until dinner. And when his home blood pressure looked good, he occasionally skipped it entirely, telling himself he didn't need it that day. He wasn't reckless. He was trying to listen to his body. But blood pressure medicines don't work like rescue medication. They work best when your body relies on rhythm. Timing trap number 4 is taking your blood pressure medicine at inconsistent times or only when the reading scares you. Blood pressure is not a light switch. Most blood pressure medications create steady control over hours and days. When you shift the timing all over the place, you create peaks and valleys. Too much effect at 1 hour, not enough at another. A missed dose may leave you uncovered later. A late makeup dose might overlap tomorrow's pill. You feel weak in the afternoon, then elevated in the early morning, and neither you nor your doctor can tell what is real. Leonard brought me a notebook full of strange numbers. Some readings were beautiful, others were frightening. He had headaches some mornings, fatigue some afternoons, and no idea whether the medicine was helping or hurting. When I asked him the exact time he took his pill each day, there was no pattern. That was the problem. For most patients, the safest time to take blood pressure medicine is the time you can repeat every day without fail. Not the trendiest time, not the time a stranger on the internet swears by. The time you will actually remember consistently under ordinary life conditions. And this matters even more because people often chase numbers emotionally. They see a high reading and take a pill early. They see a normal reading and delay it. They get one low reading and panic. Then the next day they double-check 3 times before breakfast, worried they're over-medicated. What they're seeing is a mixture of normal variation and self-created instability. Your medication schedule should not swing with your fear. It should reflect a plan made with your clinician, a plan steady enough that the numbers start to mean something. Without consistency, your log becomes confusion dressed up as data. Now let's move to timing trap number 3, because this one surprises people. It involves not the usual routine dose, but the first dose or a newly increased dose. And this is where many people unknowingly set themselves up for a frightening episode they remember forever. Ruth was 69 and starting a new blood pressure medicine after several borderline readings turned persistently high. She picked up the prescription, ate a light lunch, swallowed the first pill, and drove to the grocery store. Halfway down aisle 6, she felt that weird floating sensation in her head, like the floor had softened under her shoes. Her heart raced. Her hands shook. What happened to Ruth was not rare. Some blood pressure medications, especially when first started or when the dose is increased, can cause dizziness, low blood pressure, or faintness as your body adjusts. Certain medicines, including alpha blockers, are well known for this first dose problem. That is why some first doses are deliberately taken at bedtime, not because bedtime is universally best, but because lying down reduces the chance you'll faint while walking or standing. In other words, timing trap number 3 is taking a first or changed dose at a time when a sudden adjustment could leave you vulnerable, busy, alone, or on your feet. I want to slow down here because this is where people get confused. They hear, take the first dose at bedtime and then conclude, therefore bedtime must be best forever. No, those are completely different ideas. A first dose recommendation is about initial side effects and safety during adjustment. Long-term routine timing is about adherence, blood pressure control, urination patterns, sleep, and how you actually feel. Ruth's problem was not the medication itself. It was taking the very first dose before errands, fluorescent lights, long checkout lines, and the need to stay upright. She needed a quiet evening, support nearby, less physical demand while her body adapted. That first dose phenomenon also teaches us a larger lesson. Blood pressure medicine changes how forcefully blood moves through your system. Your brain, your kidneys, your blood vessels, all of them need time to recalibrate. If you are older, dehydrated, underweight, taking several medications, or already prone to balance problems, the transition may feel stronger. So when a new blood pressure medicine is started or a dose is significantly increased, ask a very specific question. What is the safest time for this change for me? Not for the average patient, for you. That one question prevents more bad evenings than most people realize. But now we come to timing trap number 2, and this is where the day itself becomes the danger. Not morning versus evening, but what your body is experiencing when you take the pill. Let me tell you about Martin. Martin was 78, disciplined, punctual, and proud that he never missed a dose. Every summer morning, he took his blood pressure medicine at the same kitchen table, then headed outside to work in the yard. One July afternoon, after hours of sweating in heavy heat, very little water, and no lunch, he stood up from a flower bed and nearly blacked out. He thought his heart had failed him. It hadn't. His timing had. Timing trap number 2 is taking blood pressure medicine when dehydration, heat, alcohol, illness, or an empty stomach has already made your circulation more fragile. The medication didn't suddenly become bad, but the context changed. If you're vomiting, having diarrhea, sweating heavily, drinking alcohol, sitting in a hot tub, or getting over the flu, the same pill that felt normal last week may hit differently today. Add a diuretic, poor fluid intake, or multiple pressure-lowering drugs, and your blood pressure can fall lower than expected. That is when people stand up, feel their vision dim, and say, something is terribly wrong. And they're right. Martin had combined a blood pressure pill, summer heat, dehydration, and physical exertion. His pressure had likely dropped more than his body could comfortably handle in that moment. We adjusted nothing dramatic. We talked about hydration, shade, meal timing, and paying attention to sick days and extreme weather. Some patients are taught temporary sick day rules for certain medications during dehydration or acute illness, but that guidance must come from their clinician, not guesswork. The key idea is this: never think of timing as separate from circumstance. The clock matters, yes, but the body you bring to that clock matters just as much. Now we are getting close to the biggest mistake, the one wrapped in so much online confidence that people rarely question it. But before I reveal it, I need to tell you something important. Large studies comparing morning and evening dosing have not shown a universal cardiovascular advantage to taking these medicines at night. In other words, there is no strong blanket rule saying bedtime is automatically better for everyone. What matters most for most patients is taking medication as directed, at a consistent time, with side effects and daily reality in mind. That truth should calm you, but it should also make you cautious. Because once people believe there is a superior time, they stop paying attention to their own warning signs. They override dizziness. They ignore bathroom trips. They dismiss blurred vision, fatigue, or morning weakness because some article or video told them nighttime dosing protects the heart. Sometimes it's fine. Sometimes it's even convenient. But when people follow a slogan instead of a personalized plan, they can walk right past danger while feeling very medically sophisticated. And that brings us to timing trap number 1, the most dangerous pattern I see in older adults taking blood pressure medicine. It is subtle, common, and often defended with confidence. Timing trap number 1 is taking your blood pressure medicine at bedtime simply because you were told or heard somewhere that bedtime is always best. Not best for your medication, not best for your symptoms, not best for your sleep, just best, period. That belief is the trap, because bedtime becomes dangerous when it turns a medication routine into a collision with darkness, bathroom urgency, morning dizziness, low nighttime pressure, glaucoma concerns in some patients, or a simple truth most seniors cannot ignore. If something goes wrong at 2 in the morning, you are more alone, more fragile, and less steady than you are at 2 in the afternoon. Let me tell you about Gloria, because her story still stays with me. Gloria was 75, widowed, independent, and fiercely determined not to burden her children. She read an article online claiming nighttime blood pressure pills were better for the heart. No one had specifically told her to switch, but it sounded intelligent, modern, evidence-based. So she moved both of her once-daily blood pressure medicines from breakfast to bedtime. For the first week, she felt fine. Then she started waking with a strange heaviness in her head and a softness in her legs. Not spinning vertigo, not collapse, just a subtle sense, that her body had lost its confidence. A few nights later, she woke at 3 a.m. needing the bathroom. She sat up and felt that floaty sensation in her chest. She stood anyway. Halfway to the bathroom, she reached for the wall. After she returned to bed, she lay there frightened, wondering if she was having a stroke, a heart rhythm problem, or a panic attack. In the morning, her pressure looked great, maybe even better than usual, which reassured her. But the nighttime story mattered more than the morning number. She was experiencing symptoms that suggested her body did not love that schedule, regardless of how elegant it sounded in theory. When Gloria came to see me, I asked the question nobody had asked her. Why are you taking both medications at bedtime? Her answer was simple. Because nighttime is supposed to be better. That sentence captures the problem perfectly. Supposed to be is not medicine. It is hearsay dressed like certainty. We reviewed her routine. She lived alone. She already woke twice most nights to urinate. She had mild glaucoma. She felt weakest when rising from bed. In that situation, bedtime dosing of everything was not automatically safer or smarter. It was just automated, unexamined, and increasingly risky for the life she actually lived. Now, I need to be very fair here. I am not telling you nighttime dosing is wrong for everyone. Some patients do perfectly well taking certain blood pressure medicines in the evening. Some even prefer it because they remember it better or feel fewer daytime side effects. Some first doses are taken at bedtime for safety. The problem is not the existence of nighttime dosing. The problem is the assumption. The assumption that one clock time is universally superior. The assumption that your body must adapt to the schedule instead of the schedule adapting to your body. That assumption creates dangerous blindness, especially in seniors. Here's why bedtime can become the most dangerous time for the wrong person. First, blood pressure normally falls during sleep. If you already dip significantly at night, pushing it lower may leave you feeling washed out or unstable when you rise. Second, many older adults already wake to urinate, and every rise from bed is a balance test. Third, vision is worse at night. Fourth, you may be dehydrated by morning. Fifth, if you live alone, symptoms that happen overnight are harder to evaluate calmly. And sixth, some people with glaucoma or pronounced nocturnal dips need very individualized discussions about nighttime pressure. None of that fits in a slogan. This is why dangerous time is the wrong question if you ask it too simply. The better question is, dangerous for whom, on which medicine, under what circumstances, with what symptoms? But because titles can't hold all that nuance, let me say it plainly. For many seniors, the most dangerous time to take blood pressure medicine is bedtime, when it creates dizziness, falls, bathroom trips, low nighttime pressure, or a routine they adopted without personal guidance. Not because the clock itself is evil, because the clock and the person are mismatched. That mismatch is where preventable harm lives, and it is far more common than people think. So how do you know whether your timing is helping you or quietly working against you? You look for clues. Do you feel lightheaded when you get out of bed? Are you waking more often after starting or moving a pill? Do you feel strangely weak, foggy, or unsteady overnight or first thing in the morning? Did these symptoms start after a medication change or a timing change? Are you taking a diuretic in the evening? Are you skipping meals, drinking alcohol, or pushing through hot weather on the same schedule? These patterns matter. Symptoms are data. Your body is reporting, and you must listen. I also want you to understand what not to do, because this is where people get themselves into real trouble. Do not bounce the timing back and forth every other day. Do not stop medication suddenly because one video scared you. Do not double a dose because a reading looks high. Do not move a diuretic to bedtime and then blame aging when you start stumbling at night. And do not assume that because your home monitor shows a nice number in the morning, your nighttime routine must be safe. Numbers matter, yes, but symptoms, timing, sleep disruption, and falls matter too. Medicine should improve life, not destabilize it. Let me give you the practical framework I use with patients, because this is where fear turns into clarity. First, know which class of medicine you are taking. A diuretic behaves differently from an ACE inhibitor. An alpha blocker raises different timing concerns than amlodipine. Second, ask whether the medicine is once daily or truly needs separation. Third, build the schedule around the side effects you actually experience. Fourth, choose the time you can remember consistently. Fifth, pair that schedule with proper home blood pressure monitoring, because if you never measure correctly, you won't know whether the timing is working. Precision is not obsession. It is protection. And when you monitor at home, don't sabotage the process. Check your pressure under consistent conditions. Sit quietly. Use a proper cuff. Record the readings. Many clinicians recommend checking in the morning before eating or taking medication, and again later in the day under similar conditions, because that helps reveal patterns instead of random noise. If your doctor has given you a different plan, follow that plan. The point is not to create anxiety. The point is to see whether your schedule matches your physiology. Without that information, people change timing based on guesses, and guesses are how perfectly good treatment turns unnecessarily dangerous. Let me tell you about Samuel, because his story brings these ideas together beautifully. Samuel was 81, thoughtful, stubborn, and tired of feeling old overnight. That was how he described it. During the day, he felt pretty good. At night and first thing in the morning, he felt weak, wobbly, and anxious. He was taking a diuretic after dinner because he forgot it in the morning, plus 2 other blood pressure medicines at bedtime because he thought grouping everything together was safest. He was up 3 or 4 times every night, sleeping badly, and starting each morning depleted. His family blamed age. Samuel blamed the medicine. They were both partly wrong. The real problem was the schedule. We moved the diuretic to early morning. We reviewed whether both remaining medications truly belonged to bedtime. We simplified the plan so he could remember it without crowding every dose into the same vulnerable window. We encouraged careful blood pressure logging and attention to symptoms. Within 2 weeks, Samuel was sleeping longer, waking less, and walking to the kitchen in the morning without gripping the walls. His pressure remained controlled. His confidence returned. That is what good timing does. It doesn't magically cure hypertension. It removes unnecessary danger from the treatment, which is sometimes just as important. Now, I need to say one more thing, because some of you are wondering whether this means your doctor got it wrong. Usually, no. The reality is that blood pressure treatment is individualized, and doctors often don't see the whole story unless you tell them. They know the medication. You know the hallway at 2 a.m. They know the dose. You know whether you wake twice or 5 times. They know the textbook. You know whether your knees are bad, whether the bathroom is far, whether you live alone, whether you feel dizzy when you stand. Safe treatment only happens when those realities meet honestly in the middle. So if you suspect the timing of your medicine is hurting you, what do you bring to that conversation? Bring specifics: the medication name, the dose, the time you take it, your blood pressure readings, your symptoms, when those symptoms happen, whether you wake to urinate, whether you've had a fall or a near fall, whether the issue started after a new prescription or a schedule change. Don't just say, "I feel off." Say, "I take hydrochlorothiazide at 9 p.m. and I'm up 4 times nightly." Or, "Since moving my pills to bedtime, I feel weak every morning when I stand." That gets results. Please remember, dangerous timing is often hidden inside convenience, People love putting every pill beside the bed and swallowing them all at once. I understand that. It feels organized, but medication timing is not a storage problem. It's a physiology problem. A convenience that works against your sleep, balance, hydration, or safety is not true convenience. It is just delayed trouble. Sometimes the safest plan is beautifully simple. Sometimes it needs morning and evening separation. Sometimes it needs a first dose at bedtime and later doses in the morning. The right schedule is the one your body tolerates and your life can support. Before we finish, let me give you the red flags that mean you should contact your healthcare team soon about timing. Repeated morning dizziness, new nighttime weakness, more bathroom trips after moving a pill later, near fainting when you stand, falls, even minor ones, confusion about which dose belongs when, blood pressure readings that swing wildly after you started changing times on your own, and of course urgent symptoms like chest pain, severe shortness of breath, stroke symptoms, or actual fainting require immediate medical attention. Don't sit there decoding a video if your body is sending an emergency signal. Get help. Now let's pull the whole truth together. Timing trap number 5 was taking a diuretic too late and turning the night into a bathroom obstacle course. Number 4 was taking medicine inconsistently and chasing numbers instead of following a plan. Number 3 was taking a first or increased dose at the wrong moment and exposing yourself to dizziness while active. Number 2 was swallowing the pill into dehydration, heat, illness, or alcohol, and pretending context didn't matter. And number 1, the biggest trap of all, was believing bedtime is always best, even when your symptoms and life are saying otherwise. If you remember nothing else from this video, remember this. The safest time to take blood pressure medicine is not the most fashionable time. It is not the time a headline promised. It is the time that fits the medication, your body, and a routine you can follow consistently without new risk. For many seniors, that means a diuretic in the morning. For some first doses, it may mean bedtime. For many once-daily medicines, morning or evening can both be reasonable. But any schedule that leaves you dizzy, sleep-deprived, unsteady, or afraid needs to be re-examined. Calmly, quickly, with guidance. That is how you stop blood pressure treatment from becoming a silent source of danger. You stop assuming. You stop copying strangers. You stop treating convenience as safety. You start observing patterns, respecting symptoms, and building a schedule around reality instead of theory. Blood pressure medicine should protect your brain, heart, kidneys, and future. It should not quietly sabotage your nights, your balance, your confidence, or your independence. And when timing is right, treatment feels steadier, safer, less dramatic, which is exactly what good medicine should feel like. Unremarkable, reliable, protective. Never perfect, maybe, but far safer than ignorance. So tonight, before you take your next dose, don't panic and don't improvise. Look at the bottle. Look at your routine. Ask yourself whether the time you're using was chosen thoughtfully or inherited blindly. If something feels off, make a note and call your doctor or pharmacist. That conversation is not bothering them. It is exactly what prevents trouble. And if this video helped you see your medicine in a new way, share it with someone you love, because one change in timing can prevent a bad night, a fall, or a frightening trip to the hospital. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video soon.